You know, we all have certain philosophies with building hockey teams and the way we like to build them. Some people like speed skill teams. Some people like bigger teams that can clear the front of the net. Some players, want to build their team better down the middle. And some teams, believe it's better to have a goalie first and then build up from there because goaltending is honestly a really, really, really important position. It's factually true. My philosophy on Pixel Plus Hockey is I don't like to pay a lot for goaltending. Now, I also agree, though, that goaltending is the most difficult position also in hockey, and I also don't understand that, guys like Bobrovsky and Vasilevsky, these are top high-paid goalies, but they're also so hard to find that it's almost like being patient with goaltending is the better bet. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not willing to sign a goalie long-term or for big money. I just have a philosophy of being a little bit patient. We're going to be talking about how that relates to the Calgary Flames in this video, but welcome back to Pixel Plus Hockey. If you could make sure to hit that subscribe button, it would be so greatly appreciated, and thank you so much to those that are already supporting me as well. You know what's funny? Last season, the only reason the Calgary Flames were even slightly in the playoffs was because of Dustin Wolf. Dustin Wolf was very, very, very good. But right now with the Calgary Flames, they have a mixture of a bunch of bad things happening at once. The team can't score very much at all. Like, they're just offensively very inept. They don't have nearly enough scoring. They're not particularly, horrible defensively, I don't think, in terms of their structure. And they're getting bad goaltending, right? So it's kind of everything. Now, I'm not trying to blame Wolf. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to say it's a complex area of a bunch of different things that is happening at once, but it's kind of like a mixture of a whole bunch of different things. And let's look into the data here. 11 goals for and 25 goals against. That is the worst goal for in the Pacific Division and the highest goals against that is tied with the San Jose Sharks and just worse than the Los Angeles Kings. That's not good. Now, I'm not going to be one of those guys that blames everything on goaltending, but the reality is goaltending can either sink your team or it cannot. I understand there's going to be people in the comments that are going to critique the Flames defense, and those people are going to be right. They have some issues defensively. They don't look like they're skating very well. To me, by my eye, the Flames look like really slow this season. They look like they're just lethargic when they're playing, but we have to be honest with how Dustin Wolf is playing as well. Now, we are looking at a situation where Dustin Wolf has played 5 games. He has a 4.30 goals against and an 854 save percentage. That is actually really, really bad. Like, that's a pretty terrible save percentage. Again, he's 1-4, and you just need better from him than that. Now, I'm going to tell you why Dustin Wolf, I still have confidence in him long term. My philosophy is that I probably would have waited on Dustin Wolf, but I have a decent philosophy on this player where I think he has a history of being really quite good. That's why I still think he's going to pull out of this eventually. If you look at last year, 910 save percentage, 2.64 goals against, 922 with the Calgary Wranglers. Even with the Flames, he played 17 games in 893. But he has really consistent, really high save percentage seasons. So I do believe that he is going to pull out of this eventually. But it does just worry you a bit because they just signed him to a really, really big deal. It's $7.5 million times 7 years. The Calgary Flames did commit to this player, but again, I think he's going to pull out of it. He just needs to get going and he needs to see the puck a little bit better too. And the Calgary Flames players in front of him need to help him as well. Like, at the end of the day, you're not just going to completely throw this season away. You need to be better. You don't want to lose every game. Like, I understand they're going to have a high draft pick this year, but for the sake of this guy's career and everybody else's career, you got to at least play a little bit better. Now, to shift gears, I did want to talk about a move that the Flames did make, and they put on waivers Daniil Miramonov. Now, I mean, it's kind of weird. Whenever you put a guy that's 28 years old and he shoots right and he's 6'4" on defense, because right-hand shooting defensemen are always going to get a leg up, and you're like, oh man, hopefully that one doesn't come back to bite us. And hey, it's completely fair. But I just didn't really think that this player was performing very well for the Flames. So I'm not going to be too, brokenhearted about it. 44 games last year, 9 points. Just not really exactly what you want him to be. Obviously, we had trade rumors that the Flames at least are interested in making a trade for a blue liner or possibly something like that, which I would be completely fine with. We also know that they're going to be trading, Rasmus Anderson. I would assume I'm thinking definitely this year by the trade deadline. So I wonder what they're going to do with right-hand shot defensemen as well. Now they still have Perek, they still have Uyghur. It just at the end of the day, you don't really want to be completely short right-hand shot defensemen, so whatever. But again, this is not a player to me that was very high end. It's interesting playing for the Silver Knights in the American Hockey League. He in 21-22, he actually had 40 points in 53 games. So he actually had some decent offensive seasons in the American Hockey League, but just really not offering the Flames much. So I'm not too brokenhearted about it unless he goes somewhere else and absolutely tears it up, of course. Now, to shift gears and end the video, I wanted to talk about tank mode for the Calgary Flames or rebuild mode for the Calgary Flames and exactly what they should do. I mean, this is going to be a pretty tough season. I think that they are tied for the worst franchise start. I think there was 2 other times that they started with only 2 points at this part in the season. So we're looking like the Flames are probably going to have a tough year, which honestly isn't that bad. You got the Gavin McKenna draft. You got some. Even if you get a top 5 pick, I mean, Calgary is a franchise that has never had the first overall selection. It would be pretty nice for them to get it and make a lot of sense for their franchise in general. But I want to know, are you guys team tank or are you guys team rebuild? Like, okay, you still want to compete, you still want to have a pick, or are you just trade as many players, Rasmus Anderson, throw them overboard just to tank as much as possible? I still think the Flames are going to have a reasonably high pick anyway, so I'm probably still in team rebuild. I don't like purposefully losing games, although I still think they should certainly, obviously keep their pick, try to trade him for, more draft assets, Rasmus Anderson that is, but I'm thinking to myself, like, is it possible that they trade Nazem Kadri, for example, and try to attain assets for this player? But that is very risky, though, because he plays center, and then you really wouldn't have many players playing center. So that's what I was thinking about, too, is who exactly could they get to even replace him, and that's where it becomes more complex. Anyways, guys, I am going to leave this video here. If you can make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it, guys, and make sure to have a great day. Goodbye, guys.